Mr. Cole, if you'll come up and,
I'm Green Suttles. That's green like the color. Suttles, S-U-T-T-L-E-S. And my title is President and CEO of the Development Authority of Pickens County, better known as the Economic Development Guy. You know, it's pretty august when you're the president and you have a staff and operation of one. So I don't take myself too seriously on that title. My first week I got here, somebody stepped off and said, you need to make 136 a Scenic Byway. And how many of y'all been around about 20 years? Anybody know when they first started talking about this? I was digging around in the files and I found a drawing from Dawson and Pickens County for a Scenic Byway from Dawsonville to Talking Rock and down Burnt Mountain from 2009. Sound about right? And that died a grisly death because nobody knew anything about it, including the president of the Chamber of Dawson County. So I had to send her a copy of it. So I looked at the map, being the outsider from somewhere else, looking at what's wonderful up here, and immediately realized that 52, 136, and whatever road they like in Dawson County makes a great triangle to Amicalola Falls. And after all this year of people being unhappy in major urban areas, the idea of trying to catch folks trying to travel around Atlanta through the woods might be a lovely idea, and attracting them to this part of the state. So I started broaching the idea with my partner up in Gilmer County, Kent Sanford. He likes it a lot. The president of the chamber up there is kind of indifferent, but she's entertaining it. President of Dawson County seems to be a little reluctant, but you know what I mean, she's listening. But the idea being is we create with the state of Georgia, the state highway department, DOT, a Scenic Byway. So now here's the fun part. You ready for this? There is a restriction that comes with a Scenic Byway. You're going to like it a lot. You ready for this? There's one rule. If you put in a Scenic Byway, you lose the right to add new billboards to the road.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, suffering terrible, isn't it? Now, does that mean you can't put a business on there and put your sign on top? Paint See Rock City on the roof? You certainly can. You can do all that. You can put signs up. You can put, you know, whatever. Any restrictions on your fence, your property, your curb cuts, whatever's on the books today, on the books tomorrow, doesn't change a thing. That's it. The only rule is no new billboards. Old billboards, grandfathered, unfortunately, but new ones you can't have. And since Dawson and Gilmer already have a moratorium on me, the only person that puts out is us. Do we care? So that's it. So the downside is nothing. And the upside is we get listed on the Scenic Byway map at GDOT, which has a wonderful map of all the Scenic Byways in the state. So if you Google the word Georgia and Scenic Byway, it pops right up. So that's something that I'm chasing around, but I'm kind of pushing it from the back. You know what I mean? I'm not out in front of it too much. The nicest news is the Georgia Rural Center that has an office in LJ, that lady that runs it has already done the one that was in Murray County and Whitfield, and she's ready to do this one, project management for us. Sweet, we don't even have any work to do. So that's that. Now, the second thing I want to tell you about was the Tourism Product Development, known as TPD. The state of Georgia and Economic Development owns Explore Georgia, which is a tourism. It's inside their department. And inside that department is a couple of folks that do product development in the state, tourism product development. And that basically, that exercise is they get teams of people to come to your county, you show them everything in the county, you give them all your great ideas, all your wish list, all your assets, whatever you got, and then they go off, write a report, come back several months later and say, this is what you ought to be after. And that gives you a third-party endorsement of professionals outside the county of where you go at. And that opens you up and puts you a priority for some small grants from the state of Georgia, but it also gives you more leverage for bigger grants from other sources because you've gone through the exercise. Now, I'd love to claim this idea, but I got it from Delma Stone at the Regional Planning Commission. Guess where he got it from? Your sister. Yeah, it was Cheryl's idea. And she wanted to get a tourism product team to come just Talking Rock. Well, you can't get them just to come to Jasper, they won't do it. So it's got to be county-wide. When I heard this, I said, this is great. Because what you don't know is one of the bullet items on hiring me was they wanted me to be responsible for tourism product development. Think about this. It's one thing if you're the Chamber of Commerce and you market, you put on festivals, you run ads, you promote, right? You sell. But they don't do product development. You know what I mean? They don't build stuff. They're like the scenic overlook or the preserved trails or a biking trail or whatever it is. They don't build product. You know what I mean? To get you to people to come. But economic development is all about putting the money together and the people and the resources to build stuff. You know, so that comes under my scope. And so to give you an example, they're working on the Tate Depot, right? It's time to quit looking at the pretty on the outside and finish the inside and make it useful. So that's a project. I met with, we had the first meeting Monday night. I'm the ex officio. I mean, me and 2 other people are staff to the citizens of Tate. And so that's a product development, right? So that gives you an idea of what we're talking about. So Scenic Byway and using Talking Rock as the head trail, product development. So there you go. That's the kind of thing we're talking about. So that's going on. By the way, it's county-wide. Cheryl's on the committee. The city clerk of Nelson. Bill Cagle, the head of the Historic Society, he's responsible for Marble Hill and Tate. And he's writing a book on marble, so that works, right? And Lonnie and the mayor are Jasper. And right now, Kris Stancil is. And the reason Kris Stancil is and so if you, I ain't playing any politics on this thing because I've got it covered both ends. If he wins, he's a chairman. If he loses, he's Jeep Fest. What's the biggest event in the county?
Jeep Fest.
There you go. So I'm legitimate either way. So I'm not playing any politics with anybody's favorite candidate. But that makes sense because nothing's going to happen this year for sure. And we may not get this thing done the next year because they do 1 visit a month. And COVID shut them down. So every month, everybody that was this year is sliding a month. And so we're losing 21 real fast. And we may not make the calendar for 21, it may be 22. So once again, you know what I mean, I'm not hurting anybody's feelings, being pragmatic about that. So the other thing is, let's see, we talked about that sewer. By the way, I have spent a bunch of time in South Alabama, in Mobile County, there's a bunch of them. These things that we're talking about here. They're decentralized sewer units. And you talked about a tank and a step system, and that's the first iteration. That's also the cheapest. I mean, you think about it, basically the way these things work is very simple. Everybody gets a septic tank, new one, not old, because you don't want any water infiltration, right? Fiberglass, watertight. You have to get a pump on it, and it pumps the clear liquid. No bottoms, no tops. No grinder pump, no solids. The force main that runs up the hill, 2 inches. Cheap PVC, 2 inch. Not big cast iron pipe, 8, 10 inches that cost a bundle to put. This is cheap, and that's what makes this elegant. We can open the brewery up, put their bathrooms on it and the cafe, and probably not put any technology, any equipment on top of the hill. We just put the tanks in and the field lines. What we're told. Now the math will have to prove this, but if we start adding other businesses on Main Street or adding other people's houses, when the chemistry comes up and says, okay, it's getting kind of heavy in what's known as BODs, it'll be time to add some technology. But the cool part about this is we eat this elephant 1 slice at a time. Not all on day one hoping to make enough money to get it, because that's a central sewage system. You got to spend the millions of dollars and you got no revenue. Well, in this case, we spend a few dollars and we start with the revenue we got. We got the brewery, got the cafe coming. And they'll be glad to pay not to have to deal with their sewer. You know, and is it enough? Chances are it will be. But then Randy wants to immediately put the T on Main Street and start everybody on there. I love that idea, but the question is what's our cheapest path and what can we afford?
Right.
Exactly. So do any of us know the answer? No, but we're going to find out. So the important thing is the chairman of the Development Authority knows about this. The mayor of the city of Jasper, okay, chairman of the county commission, chairman of the Water and Sewer Authority of Pickens County. They all know this project's afoot and we're working on it. You know what I mean? And the answer is how are we going to pay for this? I don't have a clue. But we're going to find out things. The big thing that I'm pushing, and what I bring to the table is I'm demanding that everybody start coming to the table in good faith and working as a team. We got to do this. We got to work as a team. Who's coming to meet you on Columbus Day?
Becky Denny.
That's right. Who got her to come here?
You did.
Thank you very much. The point is we're gonna get everybody together and we're gonna figure out what's the best and most practical solution for whatever problem. In Talking Rock, getting the sewer done. Okay, Foothills, it's sewer. All right, Jeff Downing is running his own sewer system, and that sucker's getting old, long in the tooth. So we got to get in there and get serious and get help to take care of that. So who's going to come together to solve that? Don't know, don't care. We'll figure it out on the day. So the same thing with us. You've got some ideas of funding. I got Delma Stone thinking about ideas for funding, and if we can get the temporary in and buy ourselves a little time, chances are we should be able to find some money. And it'll make our lives a lot easier around here. And I'm not in front of you, I'm behind you. Okay? And the last thing is was it the Georgia USDA or?
Well, it's USDA or somebody told me from the EPD about Georgia Clean Water Act and also the Georgia Rural Water Association.
Yeah. You know, I sent you that email on those seminars.
Yes, yes.
I sent you that. There's a University of North Georgia is putting out a series of webinars coming up real soon about how to price your sewer systems. Now, I don't know nothing about that stuff, but the point is if somebody around here is going to be responsible for figuring out how to make the money balance out, there's fixing to be some webinars out there put out by the university to help teach you. So whether y'all do it, you got a consultant or, you know, whatever, it's not a, you know, hey, we'll take good luck anytime we find it. The last thing is the farmers to tables, farmers to families food boxes. Okay, Jasper's gotten 2 loads into the general county, but the next one coming in is strictly to the Talking Rocks zip code. And so I just got a text about an hour ago that Talking Rock Baptist Church has agreed to allow the parking lot. It's going to be October the 20th from 2 to 6. It's going to be 500 boxes. By the way, we've never put out 500 boxes in the county yet. So this is a bunch of food, and so we're going to need a crowd. So one of the things that they're, Max, you know, everybody knows Max, Max Cagle. Max is, wants to promote this, advertise it, and they're also thinking about possibly starting to let everybody that's in the CARES program know about it in advance. Because CARES covers this zip code, but then they cover the rest of the county as well. So point is we're going to have 500 boxes of food come through the parking lot on the 20th. So
is this a need-based thing, or I
drive
don't know
up.
what it is?
There's no screening at all.
It's basically the government saying that they've got so much food or something to give away and they have to do it in different areas. And so they come up with a zip code 30175 and says we've got so many boxes that we have to give out.
Right.
Now also Gilmer County is getting part of the load.
They're getting 500 as well.
Yeah, right, because it's a tractor and trailer load and they
Yeah, whatever it is,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So I mean they just pick different area codes and says this
Yeah.
is where we're going to distribute the food from.
But to give you an idea of what we've done, the Rotary's done in the past month or so, we've been distributing these. Like for instance, we deliver 60 boxes to the Burnt Mountain Center, so that when parents come and pick the folks up, they can take a box home with them. And then we deliver some to CARES, we deliver some to the other ACEs and other people, you know what I mean, so that it gets out in the community where it's needed. So the point is that, you know, you drive up, you get your box. It's just that
an
simple.
opportunity for local volunteers to help.
Sure, if you want to. Rotary is going to be staffing it, you know, and we're told that you can plan on an hour or 2 volunteer time. It's 2 to 6, but you're welcome to show up by all means. You know what I mean? It's more the merrier.
This issue is not just affecting lower income people either. It's just like what happened today with 32,000 people laid off from the airline industry.
Absolutely.
Peachtree City
Yeah.
is already feeling, and we talked to some folks down there, and you've got people driving through in a Mercedes and some driving through in old cars.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
everybody's hungry, doesn't matter what your income used
Yeah,
to
I
be.
mean, used to be, yeah, exactly right. Very true. And remember also, this is like, in Alabama, Mobile, where I was from, they had the farmers market vouchers for senior citizens. You ever seen one of those? Y'all have them over here? Okay, basically what they do is they give, if you're in an assisted living or housing, they give you a $20 gift certificate card to go to the farmer's market. And so you walk into the farmer's market and you spend your $20 with the farmer and he turns it into cash. And so the dollars go to the farmer, the food goes to you, and for one $20 bill, we get 2 bites of the apple. And so this is part of that thing, because if you think about it, for $1 worth of a box, we take care of the farmer and we take care of the person on the other end of the box. So it's a double dip for $1, and that's a good thing. That's basically what's been going on. This is some of that CARES Act money, some of those big dollars that flowed out. This is flowing into the ag, and the ag's turning it into boxes of food. So that's it. But I do want you to know that we're, you know what I mean, I'm here to support you. I mean, I think that sewer is a big deal for Talking Rock. And in the big scheme of things, this is a small sewer system and it should be easy. But when you talk about, we ain't talking about Canton. You know, we're talking about Talking Rock.
Right.
And so we got to make sure we don't get in the way and stumble on this opportunity, because I believe we can put the brewery in here. That'll generate traffic. We put the businesses on sewer. That'll make it more accessible and easy to do business, and people will be more interested in being in business here because you don't have to own your own sewer system. And, you know, because once it goes through that pump, it belongs to the city, belongs to the town.
Right.
It's gone. And everybody likes that in business. And so that's a big deal, and I want to see it happen. Because quite frankly, I ain't kidding you, this is a little one. If we can get the people together to solve the Talking Rock problem, I got to turn right around and go to the southeast corner and do it again. Because if that safety system fails at Foothills, you know what happens to that grocery store and everybody in that shopping center?
Yeah.
Like a light switch, and we can't have that happen. So that's this is going to be a great opportunity for Pickens County, and we're going to make great things happen. I'm very excited about it.
Well, I mean, I really, we've talked on the phone a couple times, me and Green, and I really like his attitude. He's an outsider coming in. He doesn't have any sides. He doesn't have anything in the pot other than to help the whole county. And he's already got us a meeting with Peggy Denny, which is our commissioner, which we never met down here. So that's a good start. And he's trying to get everybody to work together, and he's working hard for our town. I mean, so I think he's good, and that's why I brought y'all in here as far as store owners and property owners on Main Street, is that, that is a major concern of keeping y'all in business and growing the Main Street is some kind of septic system, sewer system, and we can start out small, like he said, and then, find money for a larger system, and even maybe annexing some property in and get some more tax base and people, because as we get older and smaller in size here, we need more workforce. We need more volunteers. I mean, because like I say, we don't have the tax base or the money to pay everybody or pay a big contractor to come in here and do a lot of this stuff. So I think with him getting paid through the county and city of Jasper, that's where his salary comes from, is those two sources. And for him to come down here and try to help us and listen to us is big. I mean, nobody else has ever done that. So if y'all got any questions for him, I'm pretty sure that he'd be glad to answer your questions, or if you got any questions for me. But like I said, we're trying to, get Main Street stable and things happening. So
That's it. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.